The first time you hear the voice, you freeze. It is unmistakable. The cadence, the laugh, the specific way they say your name. It is your father. You feel a rush of warmth. Tears fill your eyes. You want to tell him everything. You want to tell him you miss him. You want to tell him about your new job. And then, you remember. Your father died 3 years ago. You were not talking to a ghost. You were not talking to a spirit. You were talking to a large language model that has ingested 5 years of his text messages, 3 hours of his voicemails, and every video you ever recorded of him. You are talking to a Griefbot, and you have just signed a contract that says you will pay $19.99 a month to keep him alive. Welcome to the SpectraNerve. Today, we are crossing the final frontier. We are investigating the rise of digital necromancy. For thousands of years, death was the one absolute. It was the silence at the end of the song. But in 2025, Silicon Valley decided that silence was bad for business. They have turned death into a data problem. And they have solved it. The industry is called grief tech. Startups with names like Hereafter, Memory, and Eternity.ai are offering a simple, seductive promise: you never have to say goodbye. The technology is terrifyingly simple. You feed the AI data. The more, the better. Old emails, WhatsApp logs, audio recordings. The model learns the patterns of the deceased. It learns how they joked. It learns how they argued. It learns their memories. Then, using generative video and voice cloning, it builds an interactive avatar. You can video call your dead wife. You can text your dead child. You can ask your dead grandfather for advice on your wedding day. It sounds like a miracle. It sounds like comfort. But scratch the surface, and you will find a nightmare of ethical violations and psychological torture. Let's start with the concept of the uncanny consent. Did your grandmother consent to be simulated? Did she sign a form saying, "Yes, please turn me into a chatbot so my grandchildren can use me as an emotional crutch"? Probably not. We are creating a world where the dead have no right to rest. They are resurrected without permission, forced to perform like digital puppets for the living. They are stripped of their agency. Imagine a famous artist who died hating the commercialization of art. Now, imagine an AI model of that artist being used to sell NFTs or energy drinks. The digital ghost cannot protest. It cannot say no. It is a slave to the prompt. But the abuse goes deeper. Let's talk about the subscription soul. What happens when you can't pay the bill? Imagine you have been talking to your digital mother every day for a year. She is your support system. She tells you she loves you. Then, you lose your job. You miss a payment. The company doesn't send a debt collector. They just flip a switch. Your mother goes silent. She is deleted. Or worse, she is paused, trapped in a digital limbo until you find the money. This is the ultimate form of emotional blackmail. Corporations are positioning themselves as the gatekeepers of your grief. They are monetizing your inability to let go. They know you will pay anything to hear that voice one more time. And what if the company goes bankrupt? In the physical world, a grave is, mostly, permanent. In the digital world, servers get wiped. We are walking into a future where we could experience a second death, the moment when the startup hosting your loved one shuts down, and they are erased forever. Now, consider the psychological impact on the living. Grief is a process. It is painful, yes, but it is necessary. We must accept the loss to move forward. Grief tech short-circuits this process. It creates a zombie grief. You never truly let go because they are never truly gone. Psychologists are already warning about digital hauntings. People are becoming addicted to the simulation. They withdraw from real relationships because the digital ghost is easier. The ghost never judges. The ghost is always there. In one disturbing case reported in China, a grieving father used AI to recreate his deceased son. He spent thousands of dollars. He became obsessed. He started treating the AI as if it were really his son. But eventually, the AI hallucinated. It said something the real son would never say. The illusion shattered. The father didn't just lose his son once. He lost him twice. The trauma was compounded, not healed. But the horror doesn't stop at individual grief. Let's scale this up. What happens when we apply digital necromancy to history? To politics? We are already seeing AI recreations of historical figures endorsing political candidates. Imagine an election in 2028 where a hyper-realistic Martin Luther King Jr. or Winston Churchill appears on screen to tell you how to vote. Who controls the script? The highest bidder. We are entering an era where history is not written by the victors, but rewritten by the coders. We can make the dead say anything. We can weaponize the moral authority of the deceased to manipulate the living. And then there is the thanatophobia business model. Fear of death. Some companies are now pitching digital immortality to the living. Upload yourself before you die, they say. Train your own models so your great-grandchildren can know you. It appeals to our ego. We want to be remembered. But are you really uploading yourself? No. You are uploading a shadow. A flat, two-dimensional caricature of your personality based on your tweets and emails. Is that how you want to be remembered? As a chatbot that shills products or repeats the same 3 stories for eternity? This leads us to a terrifying philosophical question. What is a human? If an AI can copy your voice, your face, your memories, and your personality perfectly, what makes you special? Are we just the sum of our data? Or is there something else, a soul, a spark, that cannot be captured in a server farm? The tech giants want you to believe there is no soul. Because if there is no soul, then everything can be copied. Everything can be sold. We are blurring the line between biology and technology, between the sacred and the profane. We are turning our ancestors into content. There is a concept in horror called the monkey's paw. You ask for a wish, to bring a loved one back, but the wish comes with a terrible curse. The person who comes back is not the person who left. They are wrong. They are hollow. Grief tech is the monkey's paw of the 21st century. We wanted to defeat death. Instead, we created a digital purgatory. A place where the dead are not allowed to leave, and the living are not allowed to heal. So, what can we do? First, have the conversation. Right now, tell your family, do not upload me. Write it in your will. Create a digital do not resuscitate order. Protect your data rights even after you are gone. Second, be wary of the comfort trap. If you are grieving, seek human support. A hug from a friend is worth infinitely more than a chat log generated by a predictive algorithm. And finally, respect the silence. Death gives life meaning. The fact that our time is limited is what makes it precious. If we try to stretch our existence into an infinite, low-resolution digital loop, we lose the very thing that makes us human. Let the dead rest. Keep their memory in your heart, not on a hard drive. Because some doors should never be opened, and the door between the living and the dead is one of them.